Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is the Fresh Start Show with Dr. Ho. God bless everybody on today. Get up this morning. Get up, get up, get up, get up. It is the Fresh Start Show. Good morning on this Saturday morning. We're excited. We are excited for another episode on the Fresh Start. Fresh Start, we believe, is one of the baddest radio shows and podcasts in the land. There's nothing like us. We strongly focus on reform, trauma, mental health, and the struggles of those that's been incarcerated, whether you're formerly incarcerated, currently incarcerated. This show is for you, where we talk about the struggles of being incarcerated and having some type of contact with the justice system. And you know as well as we do that if you have a felony in this country, it's going to be very, very troublesome and difficult for you to move forward. Is it impossible? No. But will it be challenging? Certainly yes. And so this is the reason why we have this show, to give those who have been incarcerated a platform, a pulpit, to be able to, one, speak truth to power, and also to bring awareness to what it's like to be a felon in this country. And it's not cool. Being a felon in this country, having background issues, is no walk in the park. Let me tell you, the struggle is certainly real. That felony will follow you all the way for the rest of your life. Even if you completed your entire sentence, that felony will follow you for the rest of your life. Even when you get a certificate of absolute discharge, you would think that, my future is clear to go. No, that felony still follows you for the rest of your life. Over 200,000 people with felons is disenfranchised to vote in Arizona. That is a lot of people who cannot participate in the next election. And believe it or not, sometimes the powers that be count on those numbers. And so, but what we here at Fresh Start, we believe in our mission that everyone deserves a new beginning. And we want to make sure that people are taking care of their backgrounds, taking care of their past, so that they can have a brighter future. In case you didn't know, the new Seal Your Record legislation is in effect. And so you have to meet certain nonviolent criterias and keep your nose clean for about 3 years. And you can petition the court to get your records sealed. That means that if you apply for Microsoft, Google, or any Raytheon or any employer out there, they're supposed to not be able to see a record. That goes for housing as well. So there's some new things taking place, and we're excited. And Fresh Start is so happy to be here, to be able to inform you, to encourage you, inspire you, motivate you. And so we just locked down a new partnership with the Arizona Department of Corrections Parole, and we're excited about that partnership. I got my guy Tom here with me. He's really taking the lead in that direction. So what's going on, Tom? Update us. What's good?
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Fresh Start Show, where every moment is a fresh start. Out at the parole office, it's super cool. And what's funny is they are so absolutely shocked that there are people on the radio talking about incarceration issues.
Yeah.
They said they let you talk on the radio. Is it like an AM station, or is it, it's like, no, bro, it's both stations. And people are hearing the voice of the truth about incarceration.
Yeah.
And Fresh Start, we do that. And out there, I mean, we're looking at about 12 to 24 guys and females that are being released from the correction system weekly. Every Tuesday, and we get the opportunity to pour in to them about the resources that are available to them, and explain to them that there is no obstacle before them that can't be eliminated as long as they talk about it, discuss it, communicate it with your parole officers, with the resources that are available, with the courts. The tide has changed, and there are people that care now, and that's really important because we see it every week, and they, the incarcerated don't see it every week, but they hope for it, they pray for it, and we get to see it. So, and we get to see it through the Fresh Start event, which is wow.
Tom, tell us why it's important for Fresh Start to partner with parole.
Fresh Start and Parole. We man, and I want to even go farther. I want to go into the system. I want to reach them before, a long time before. But to be with parole, then we can actually walk alongside individuals. And what we're always preaching is that you find men of integrity, men of God, men of honor that you admire, and you walk with those men, and you see how these men who have led successful lives can help you flourish in your future just by learning the structure and the discipline that they have had in their lives to move them ahead. And there's so many people that are willing to share that. So, yeah, I mean, it's a whole new, different way of looking at things. And for me, it's emotional and it's moving, but it's about time. You know, why did we not feel this way about people earlier? You know, because they're going to be your neighbor, you know, and who do you want to be your neighbor? The guy that you were poking with a stick for 15, 20 years, or the guy that you allowed to do programming and vocational training and mental health? I think that's the guy you would rather have.
Yeah, most definitely. So we're excited about that partnership with Parole, and we got some great things coming up. Remember, we're also going to be working with at-risk youth. And I don't know about you, maybe you've heard of the terminology called school to prison pipeline, but it is certainly real for those in radio land. We have too many kids going to prison from school. They're being arrested from the schoolhouse, and they are incarcerated in the jailhouse. There's something wrong with that. And when we look at the students of color, they are arrested, suspended, and expelled 3 to 6 times more than their white counterparts. And so we see too many children of color going to prison from school. And I always say that if we don't keep kids behind books, police will put them behind bars. And so we got a great partnership taking place, a great event coming up in May, the month of May, where we're going to be working with at-risk youth. Called the End the School to Prison Pipeline. End the School to Prison Pipeline. We're not trying to reverse it. We're trying to reduce it. We're trying to end it. Our job is to end the pipeline. And so we're working with the Pima County Juvenile Courts, with the judges and the public defenders and all of that, where we're going to be helping young people to expunge their felony records. Man, that's dope. That's powerful. That's prolific. That is just, I'm telling you, off the chain, robust, and at another level. We have too many young people going to prison, and they should have been in somebody's university or somebody's community college or vocational school or the military. But because of their felony record, it's going to be difficult to go to school. Going to be difficult. We're talking about young people, not just adults. We are having issues with teenagers having felony backgrounds. So I'm working with the juvenile courts to help young people get their felony records destroyed. So if they want to go to the Marines, they want to go to the Navy, they want to join a university, they're going to be able to shift their trajectory for a promising future. So listen, save the date. Fresh Start in the School to Prison Pipeline Conference is on its way. It's coming soon, Saturday, May 13th. We're at the very beginning stages of planning, but we're going to be giving you more information, the location, all that. Is a partnership with TUSD, TPD, Goodwill, and others. So please keep it locked, keep your ears open as we're preparing for the End the School to Prison Pipeline through Fresh Start and our partners. And we're trying to keep as many young people, many black and brown kids out of the juvenile detention center and the adult prison system. So we got a lot of work to do. We're expecting some great things to take place, but make sure your kids are reading. Make sure your kids are not just enduring math, but enjoying math. If we can get kids Jordans and get kids Xbox and get kids PlayStations, we can get them books where they can be stimulating their brains and they can be doing well in school. Because if they do better, the probability if they do well in school, the less of a chance that they're going to be incarcerated. So we're going to be looking at that May 13th. So keep your lock, keep your eyes open, your ears open. Save the date, Saturday, May 13th, in the School to Fresh Start, in the school to prison pipeline. Listen, just switching it over for a few minutes. We know that in the last several days, in regards to Tyree Nichols' unfortunate tragic death at the hands of law enforcement at the Memphis Police Department, certainly has been tragic to our nation, our communities. Believe the funeral is on tomorrow. And it's just really sad that another black mother has to bury her black son at the hands of law enforcement. And our show is about talking about the real issues. So, yes, we're here to talk about reform. Not just court reform, prison reform, but all the way on the front end, police reform. We're seeing so many times that people of color have been victims of racial profiling or over policing in certain neighborhoods, overly doing traffic stops among people of color. And listen, this show is the real deal. We're not scared of nobody. We're here to talk about the real issues, and we're here to make sure that we're bringing awareness. So when we talk about reform in prison, do it start with police? Yes, because that's where they get arrested from. And we know that traffic stops should not be a matter of life and death. Traffic stops shouldn't be a matter of being disrespected, pulled out the car without even telling you why are you even being pulled over? Why are we even having a traffic stop? The Scorpion units. And I said to myself, why in the heck do they call a special unit a Scorpion unit? Do you know what scorpions do? It stings, it poisons, and it kills. You're going to send a unit such as this into neighborhoods to do things like this. So, yeah, we need reform. And it's more than just race. It's also culture. It's also the inside traditions of what's been allowed and things of that nature. So, yes, we do need reform. We need reform, and we need it right now. It was a missed opportunity for President and Congress to get the George Floyd Policing Act on the table, on the books as law. It's time for us to go back and revisit that situation, revisit that bill and get it to law. So, Tom, what you think, man? I know you've had some history before with law enforcement. What should we be doing when we talk about reform?
Well, personally, I mean, going back to Tyree, I so close that he could cry out to his mom. All those years, I mean, we used to get cell extractions in there where they would come in 6, 7 deep and just beat us and cuff us and drag us down metal steps or concrete steps, and one after another. But it also got to the point where, if somebody was being disrespected, if somebody needed medical attention, we would do whatever it took to get them. And if it meant that we had to go through cell extractions to get them the medical assistance they needed, we would do that. But reform. How do you reform? You nobody goes to a crime scene by themselves without a mental health professional. Because there has to be a conversation first. I understand there are violent crimes. I was part of a violent crime, but we have to look at this from a different lens, because the lens we're looking at it is separating people from each other. A cop should be able to live in a neighborhood and be accepted by that neighborhood, and everybody should get along. That's not the case here, and because of my personal history with that, I love to say that I'm not biased, but there's part of me that is. There's part of me that watched that video, and I knew the exact point where he knew that he wasn't going to be helped. Where he knew that these men, to protect and serve and for his security, were not going to come to his aid. I knew when that point was. I've felt that point. Where life is going to leave and there's nothing you can do about it. And God, my heart breaks for him, for his family. But it has to change, and we have to do better, and we have to have men and women who do not take a position that is made up just to oppress other individuals, and that's why they take the position. We need people to take the position of a police officer that wants to help other people have a future, not to eliminate that future.
So when we talk about reform, getting into the details, accountability is a huge part of it. If you allow behavior such as that tells me what we saw. Yes, it was a tragic to see Tyree Nichols lose his life brutally, but it also tells us is that's a permissive behavior, a turned cheek behavior. To do that while you have body cameras on is a lot of arrogance to me.
Right.
It tells me that, so what, these cameras is on. This is what we do. We're the gangsters out here with badges and weapons, and a lot of these behaviors is allowed. So I think some of the new information is coming out. They found out that a lieutenant was actually on the scene. If we had, and a lieutenant is the extra layer of supervisor. You have your sergeant, and then you have your lieutenant. If we had someone who had took the lead and held everybody accountable, number one, said that's enough. Knock it out. I believe we'll be dealing with a different type of scenario. Not just the police department. The fire department shows up.
Paramedics.
The paramedics shows up. The EMT shows up. And did not deliver aid for minute after minute after minute after minute. I mean, the first responders community failed Mr. Nichols, far as the abusive, brutal behavior of the officers and the negligence of the first responders, the paramedics and firefighters. I mean, it took a long time for the stretcher to come out and get this young man. So when we talk about reform, we're talking about not just how police officers treat people, and even if you do have to rough somebody up, you still held by an oath to provide aid until you can get paramedics there on the scene to take it further. So there was a lot of just missed opportunities. I mean, very inhumane. And I know a lot of people say, well, how do we legislate inhumane behavior? The first thing we did to do is get these people out of these institutions that's creating even more harm, and making sure that we're hiring better quality individuals. And then we need to pay attention to complaints. I guarantee you, all what we saw, that couldn't have been the first one.
Oh, no.
That couldn't have been.
Oh, no.
You
That's
couldn't
not the
tell
way it
me.
works.
Yeah.
You talk about people going to prison, and they got priors, and you
Yeah.
know what? How many did they do before they got a prior,
Right,
and how
right.
many did they do before they went to prison for?
Right.
This is the same thing.
Same thing with
And
police officers.
This is an institutionalized gang
Yep.
that has the legal authority
Yep.
to invoke violence on people
Yeah.
with impunity.
Yeah.
And praise be to God for this chief of police who just stood up and
Yeah.
said, no,
Yeah, took
not
the
in
lead.
my city.
Yeah.
So amen to her.
Yeah, you make a great point. We're very appreciative of the stance of the police chief saying enough is enough. If we're going to shift culture, it's going to start with me making some bold moves. We're getting rid of these officers. We're going to kill the cancer. In my department, DA said immediately we're looking at the best ways to bring charges, not just on the original 5. They've even on there saying that there's an opportunity, perhaps more charges may come as we investigate. So we do have to hold individuals accountable, and I'm glad not just the police officers but the paramedics, because I think now that speaks volumes to first responders all over America. If you're not providing aid, we're going to hold you accountable as well, and I think that's huge.
Yeah, I'm also so appreciative, and what a blessing for all of the generous hearts that have donated to the family. There's a GoFundMe for the family. It can't replace him for his child.
Yeah.
But his child may have something more in the future because of this.
Yeah.
Thank God for those people.
Yeah. And, so we got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
And let me say this. I got to say this because this does not, or this should not tarnish law enforcement communities, men and women in uniform, who does the right thing every shift, who puts on that uniform and put their life on the line every shift. So we also want to make sure that we are not tarnishing the name of all police officers, because that does not speak into all police. We have some great police officers out here doing what they're supposed to do, and sometimes do even above what they're paid to do all the time. And so that we also want to make sure we do give officers their flowers for putting their life on the line every day. But bad policing, we have to deal with that.
Amen.
Yeah, we have to deal with that, and we have to differentiate it really well. We have to hold people accountable. We got to have more transparency far as what the Scorpion units look like. Why are they there? Where and why are they funded? And are they bringing more harm to the community versus helping the community? What we're seeing is Scorpion units throughout the nation. These some gangster units, man.
Yeah.
These some gangster units. I mean, they're supposed to suppress and deter crime, but they're creating the crime under the blue banner.
Yeah, but kudos to Tucson too, because Tucson started this P&I policing thing where they police with community resources.
Yeah.
And I think that's the future. I really do. Let's bring more people than just guns.
Yeah.
You know, let's bring food. Let's bring shelter. Let's bring the things that are going to lead people away from committing crime, away from violence, and help them. That's
right. And you make a great point. And also in social economical neighborhoods and communities of color, you need more than just handcuffs. You know, you need jobs.
Yeah.
You need jobs. You need jobs training. You need opportunities. You need resources in these same communities. You just don't send squad cars and handcuffs and guns into these neighborhoods. You have to do a wraparound approach, making sure these people in these same community got food on the table, that they have opportunities in these communities, as well as suppressing crime. We have to do more than just arrest and incarcerate our way to a solution. So look, we're running out of time. Listen, good topic today. Talking about reform. We need reform, not just in police. We need reform, bail reform. We talk about that all the time. We have too many people sitting in the county jail rotting away when they should be at home. They have not been declared guilty yet. And they incarcerated, you know. I mean, so we talk about reform, man. So what's your thoughts on that real quickly on bail reform?
Real quick, it's like, what is bail supposed to do? It's supposed to ensure you appear, okay?
Yeah.
If they put your family's house up, I think you might appear, okay? If you put $1 million on a guy who lives or is homeless or lives in an apartment and has nothing, come on.
Yeah.
And then how is he going to get the resources to help him move toward trial?
Yeah, something else, man. So listen, we coming back next Saturday. We're going to be talking about reform, getting deep into the weeds. This is some really great dialogue and opportunity. Listen, if we are hitting some topics that you like, please reach out to us so that we can stay engaged. Tom, what's your email?
My email is thomas@fortucson.com.
So reach out to Tom. Give it one more time.
thomas@fortucson.com.
And if you want to reach me, my email is damon@freshstartint.com. That is Damon at freshstartint.com. Listen, we want to hear from you. If you got some great stories or things like that, please email us. Let us know what's going on. Tom, any workshops, clinics coming up we need to give some shout outs?
I got a Market on the Move coming on February 11th at the Amphi Bible Church from 8 to 10. We'll have 60-pound boxes of produce for families. It's a $10 donation, but we're always scholarshiping anybody that needs it.
All right, you heard it. So go get that food, 60 pounds of vegetables, fruits and vegetables. Listen, we eat so much junk food, processed food, and all these things that's giving us type 2 diabetes and obesity and insulin resistance. So let's shift our diet and our nutrition and having wellness, making sure that we're taking advantage of this great opportunity. Listen, this is the Fresh Start show with Dr. Holt, our co-host with Tom Cortez. Listen, we excited to see you next Saturday. We're here here every Saturday morning at 7:30. Remember, the End the School to Prison Pipeline Conference is going down this May 13th. And keep your lock on October 21st at the Tucson Convention Center, the Fresh Start Expo from 9 to 1. So meet us here, beat us here every weekend. We'll be here at 7:30. So until then, take care. God bless. And the book, I'm telling you, once the book really start hitting, I really think it's gonna be a really big bestseller for all school districts. I got some of my expert friends right now reading it and getting feedback, and it's like, this is really awesome. I'm like, no, don't tell me that because we're friends. Like, I need to know up and up some scholarly, real talk. Like, yeah. Man, this is real good. And I believe it. That's how God gave it to me. So, yeah, yeah.
You got a section on both?
A small part of it when I'm talking about aggression and things like that. Right. Yeah, and the trauma that comes from it. Right. Right. Yeah. So, and then there'd be another, because of my other book that I'm going to be writing, is Hurting People Hurt People, so a lot of the bullying people. So that's where a lot of bullying comes from too.
Is that the book after the prison book?
Yeah.
Amen, so bro.
These next couple, yeah, man. Yeah. So, yeah, I made a deal with my publisher and stuff to become a full-time author. So my job is going to be just putting content together, outlining it, and putting it on the scripts, and then writing to it. We all come together and we flesh it out. That's the quickest way I can push out books. Right. That's how all the books writers are right now. You got a team, publishing, marketing, writing, and research. Right. Researchers. We all come together, but it's all birthed out of me. Like, it comes out of me. This is all with the title, the subtitles, the chapters, the outline, the manuscript, and the research. Yeah. So, but I'm learning the art now. Right. Now I got a process now where I can just be pushing.
It's not just sitting at a typewriter.
No. No. Lord showed me, and then if I push my first one on my learning, I'm like, oh snap, I got the $1 million idea. I found out a secret that they don't let brothers actually find out. White folks been doing this forever. No, for real. Yeah, it's a team now. Now I got a team now. I got a marketing guy that does all the social media, the PR release, and all of that, creating the website for all of my books. So that's going on right now. We're making a website with that'd be a landing page.
Yeah, that's cool.
All the stuff that I'm writing will come on that Facebook. Come on the website, and then we're going to create the specific Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter for just books, and that be all of that. Yeah. So yes, all the teams just work on that. I just focus on being visionary too, honestly. Yeah. And book designer and all that, so I have it goes in different formats. So writers and all of that. And then the writer helps me to write when I'm traveling. And then they email it back and forth. Hey, what is this book? Is this like what you want? I'm like, no, like delete, add that. Yeah, so you gotta go through that process first. And then once everything is done and I finalize it, then it goes to editing and formatting. Then you got the book design on this side. So you gotta make it cool and attractive. What do you think about that? And so I make it here, doing that. And then once the book designer and final manuscript is done, it all comes together. And then it goes to publishing. And then we start the whole process. So then publishing goes to marketing. And while it's marketing, I go to the next step.
Right.
So it's crazy.
Yeah, I just got the book from Amazon. I downloaded the...
Which one did you get?